I feel great.
You look so beautiful.
I'm hungry all the time.
Really?
Yeah. I really am.
Before Zoe Saldana was known for her badass butt-kicking roles in films like Guardians of the Galaxy, Columbiana, and Avatar. Before she became the dream girl for geeks everywhere in J.J. Abrams' 2009 reboot of Star Trek. Before she was a spokesmodel for Avon and Calvin Klein.
Calvin, or nothing at all.
Before Zoe Saldana received major backlash for her role in the upcoming film Nina Simone.
And I don't care who tells me that I am not this and I am not that. I know who I am.
Although born in New Jersey, Zoe tragically lost her father when she was a child, and her family moved back to her father's native country of the Dominican Republic. As a kid, she was a mesh of a girl's girl, getting involved in prestigious dance academies, mastering ballet, and other forms of dance. She was also a little edgy and was into riding dirt bikes. When she wasn't doing this, she would climb coconut trees where she would sit up there and do her homework. Her family didn't make much money in the Dominican Republic, so they decided soon after to return to the U.S. Almost as soon as she returned home, her dance experience translated to work in theater and soon after television. She was at a really spicy scene that kind of put her on the map with Mila Kunis in a movie called After Sex. Check this one out.
What? No. You asked, Nikki.
Mila Kunis seems to pick the hottest girls to make out with. Very interesting. My name is Amber Smith, filling in for Michael McCrudden, here documenting for you the life of Zoe Saldana here on Before They Were Famous. And as always, we want to know, who would you like to see us show next on Before They Were Famous? Let us know in the comment section down below. And if you guys are longtime viewers of Before They Were Famous, you might remember me from when I filled in for Michael McCrudden on a Chris Brown Before They Were Famous episode. So, I must say, it feels good to be back. Zoe Saldana was born Zoe Yadira Saldana Nazario in Passaic, New Jersey on June 19, 1978. Her father, Aridio Saldana, was born from the Dominican Republic, while her mother, Asalia Nazario, is from Puerto Rico. She has two sisters named Sisley and Marielle, and a half-brother named Nepo, who goes by the name of Nepo809. He's actually an artist and producer in the Dominican Republic. Her father died in a car crash when Zoe was just 9 years old. Because of this, her mother took her and her siblings and moved them to the Dominican Republic to live with their grandparents. She there began training at the prestigious ECOS, Espacio de Danza Dance Academy, where she learned ballet as well as other forms of dance, including jazz and modern Latin dance. Zoe felt some pretty intense culture shock moving from her native of New Jersey to the Dominican Republic.
Where the hell am I?
But she quickly took to this rugged Caribbean life, and she was often found doing her homework up high in coconut trees. The family didn't have very much money while they were in the Dominican Republic, so Zoe used to take it upon herself to dye her own hair using rum. Apparently this turned Zoe's hair bright red, and she had to cut it all off at a young age. When Zoe wasn't dancing or running around climbing trees to do her homework in, she was often found watching sci-fi movies. So movies from Dune to Alien were all films that she went crazy for, but she actually admittedly had never seen Star Trek. Her family returned to New York in her sophomore year, and she wasted no time getting into another dance academy. It was their production of Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat that led a talent agency to recruit her. She landed her first ever role in the Law & Order series in 1999, which got her face out there in the Merger episode. It was around this time that Zoe found her true love. For the next decade plus, she was dating and eventually engaged to actor and CEO of My Fashion Database, Keith Britton. Now, they were both actors, but as her career took off, their relationship seemingly fizzled. Her previous dance training and her acting experience was what helped her land her first film role, playing Eva Rodriguez, the talented and headstrong ballet student in the film Center Stage. But it wouldn't be long before we saw Zoe again when she appeared in Britney Spears' Crossroads in 2003 as her best friend. This movie was met with a ton of negative reviews, but despite that, it ended up being really popular. I mean, come on, it was one of my favorite movies for like a week. There are a lot of other films that Zoe has been in that you may or may not recognize, but it was her work in After Sex in 2007 with co-star Mila Kunis that really got people hot and bothered when she had a pretty steamy makeout with her on screen.
So what's it taste like anyway? One. Pussy?
Her love life would also get a little more glamorous when she began dating Bradley Cooper for 2 years, but it seems another man caught her eye. She broke it off with Brad, and after 2 months, she was with Marco Perego. Within 3 months of meeting him, the two wed in a secret ceremony. Looks like Brad definitely missed out. She already has 2 twin boys named Bowie Ezio Perego Saldana and Sai Aridio Perego Saldana. And in a plot twist, her husband, much like her father, took her last name as opposed to her taking his. And after all these great movies and this great career to date, it was one movie that really put her on the map. James Cameron's Avatar. I mean, she was blue and pretty unrecognizable, but it really got her out there. She did an intense 6-month preparation for the role in Avatar, including daily horseback riding, archery, and martial arts. She is currently facing the biggest challenge in her career with a negative backlash from the African American community for her role in Nina Simone, which comes out in theaters April 2016.
And I don't care who tells me that I am not this and I am not that. I know who I am.
And good for Zoe that she's strong enough to take on this role even with all the backlash. Looks like she's as badass in person as the roles that she portrays on film. And as for the rest of the story, well, you know the story, because this is before they were famous. Alright guys, on here we do before they were famous, after they were famous, and before they were dead. And as always, don't forget to subscribe and make sure you follow me on Instagram.